Hey, I'm Devin.
And I'm Mary Kate.
And we're Picking Up Pieces.
A channel all about board game pieces.
And how to pick them up. And today we're going to be talking about our top 5 introductory board games. What are introductory board games, Mary Kate?
So introductory board games are board games that you would play with someone who is not really in the hobby, but who you want to play board games with. So this could be your family, this could be some friends who just aren't necessarily board gamers. It could really be anyone as long as they're not really practiced in playing board games, or for say their only board games they really have experience with are like Monopoly and Clue.
Yeah, and in particular, whenever people think about introductory board games, I think the category is usually really broad. Because a lot of people talk about Wingspan or Catan and other games like that as being introductory board games, and I think they are, but I don't think they are for everybody. So, in particular, I think of family members or friends that I've shown board games with, and they can, and if they've not experienced board games before, they can get really overwhelmed by all of the pieces in the game, and then also about the several different things that they have to do. And so like there are people who are already pre-made board game people. Like they have other experiences in their life that has prepared them to play board games. Everything has led up to that moment. And that can be like really shown in Wingspan again in Catan, but not in particular with people that we've played with. And so we've had to like show them those games and realize that doesn't work. And then so we've had to re-show them different games. And so like in this list, we're not going to be talking about those games, even though we do think those are introductory games.
To an extent.
We're
also not going to talk about party games. I know a lot of people, when they think introductory games, they'll talk about things like party games, like Exploding Kittens or Sushi Go. But we're going to more focus on like board games for someone you maybe want to bring into the hobby.
Yeah, because we feel like a lot of people have experience with party games, whether that be like Secret Hitler or like Mary Kate already mentioned, Exploding Kittens and Sushi Go. Like they have experience with these games, so we want to get that board game feel to them that they may not have previously experienced before. And so in saying that, let's get to our top 5 list. And so at number 5, we're going to be talking about Unmatched, published by Restoration Games. And so Unmatched is a dueling and hand management game, not a deck builder. The decks already come pre-made for you, at which you pick a famous character from either an IP, such as Marvel or Bruce Lee or Jurassic Park, or you pick a non-licensed IP character such as Robin Hood and Bigfoot, and you go against each other. And so the magic about this game is that it looks so good. It looks so beautiful. The artists are great in this game, and it makes it really accessible for somebody.
And you can play with characters in one box together, like the Robin Hood v. Bigfoot set. But when you get more boxes, you can mix and match the characters, so people can actually pick people that they're interested in or they really would like to play as.
Yeah, and so the game is accessible because like I said, the decks are already pre-made, and so you're just picking out cards and you're going against the other person. And the game does a good job of balancing the competitive level, meaning that even though I have a bunch of experience at the game, I can play against somebody and they can pick a character that might be already naturally better than another character, and I can pick a lesser character and it be more balanced. And there's already kind of like a little bit of chance in the game as you're trying to get to the card that you need to fight that person. And so the person can feel competitive while they're playing this game against you. And after you're done playing this game, you kind of have that natural feel of like, I want to go again. The game makes it feel like, oh, either I want to redo that again with those same exact fighters, or hey, I might want to pick a new fighter and experience what that might be like. Because each fighter, the Restoration has done such a good job of making them feel actually thematic and unique to those characters. And so I think it's just a great game to show people. I mean, me and Kate, we love that game.
We've played this game dozens of times.
I'm not exaggerating. I probably have played that game over 100 times, and just showing people love the game, and I love playing it. You know, like I have gotten burnt out, but gone right back into it and playing it is just like, oh yeah, there's something magical about it, and it's hard to pinpoint what exactly makes it magical. But I mean, I love it. But again, it is an introductory game. It's not made for maybe somebody who is more experienced in the game. Like, you're not going to get that crunchy Euro game. I mean, it's very much so after you play it over and over again, you're almost doing the same thing over and over again.
It's a very tactical game instead of a strategic game.
Yes, exactly. So that's number 5, Unmatched.
All right, so number 4 is Splendor, which is published by Space Cowboys and designed by Marc Andre. So Splendor is a game where you have a tableau of cards set out before you, which you can choose from, and you choose, on your turn, you have 2 options. You can collect gems, or you can use your gems to buy a card. And so your goal is just to reach 15 points. So the different cards are worth different points, and you buy them, and when you buy the lower level cards, they help you so you can buy the higher level cards. And honestly, it's really fun. I love this game. It's one of the games that really got me more invested in the hobby. And I like the mechanism of it. It's accessible because you pick the gems. You can see easily, this is what I need to buy for each card. And then your goal is just to get points. So there's strategy, you can think through it. But at the end of the day, you're buying cards. The cards are worth points. Your goal is to get to 15 first. This is a game that we'll play with family a lot. We like to play this game with Devin's family.
Yeah, and particularly my mom. Like, my mom is not a board gamer. She loves board games, but she's not a board gamer, and she loves this game. Like, this is her game. And I think what makes it really good is, like, on your turn, you only have like 3 decisions: is to get coins, buy a card, or to reserve a card. And that's it. That's all you have to do.
So that's number 4, Splendor.
Okay. And at number 3, we have Quacks of Quindeberg, a game by Wolfgang Warsch, and published by Schmidt-Spiel. And so this game is a push your luck / bag building game. And so this game, again, as I said in Unmatched, it's a little bit more of a equal balance of like competitiveness, because it's so heavy on luck. And so it makes it naturally silly, but as you can tell, May-Kate hates that.
I do not love this game. Every time we play it, it does not matter what I put in my bag, how many pieces I buy, I always explode. Like, I have the whole bag full of pieces, and I'll pull the 3 white pieces right in a row, which is what causes you to explode, which is not what you want. It doesn't seem to matter the probability of any of it. It just always happens to me. So I get very frustrated by this game. But people do really like it. So I'm willing to give it that. It is good to introduce people to, but it always makes me mad.
Yeah, it's just fun. It's a little bit just like Mario Kart. If you're in front, somebody's going to have the little tiny like missile or turtle, and
the blue turtle shell.
And it will hit you. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, everything you've done up to that point, it doesn't matter. And so, but it's kind of just fun. Like, it makes good memories around the table of just like, oh yes, that happened. But oftentimes whenever me and Kate play, like, we play by ourselves. Whenever we're playing, like, we don't really want luck. We just want to go 1v1, like, just like mind to mind.
So it's not really a great 2-player game. You really want to play it with a higher player count, with like 3 or 4 people.
Yeah. And so how do you explode? I actually haven't explained any of the game at all. And so you just explode whenever you pick up so many white chips. And so you have different chips that you actually draw from a bag. And then whenever you draw them, you put them out into the pot, the cauldron. And depending on the number, it lets you move up that many spaces in the cauldron. And at the end, whoever goes up the highest gets that many victory points. And so whoever has the most victory points after the amount of rounds that are in the game.
4 or 5 rounds?
It's way more than 4 or 5 rounds. You are
6
so
rounds.
Okay. 6 rounds. Okay. And so after you get to 6 rounds, quote unquote, then you whoever has the most points wins. So that's Quacks. And again, Quacks is just a zingy game that really you cannot take serious. Take serious and you will be disappointed. So
not disappointed, mad.
Mad. As Mary Kate loves me.
I hate the game.
So that's number 3.
All right. So number 2 for introductory games, we have Mechakoro, which is published by Pandasaurus and designed by Misao Suganuma. Apologies if I pronounced your name wrong.
And same for anybody we said throughout it. Obviously, you can tell our eyes are looking at these people, and we have to concentrate hard. I mean, we're American. We have no idea how to pronounce these Japanese or German names. As
we're
you're about to
trying
see.
our best.
So anyway,
back to Mechakoro.
So
Mechakoro, kind of the theme of it is you are running a small town and you're trying to make your town be the best town it can be. And so it's a dice rolling game, and so you start out with just a couple of little things in your town, like a farm and a store, and every time a certain number is rolled, you get stuff from that place that you've built in your town. And so when you get money, you have the opportunity to buy improvements from your town, which are laid out in front of you. And each one is kind of associated with a different dice number. And so when everyone else is taking their turns and rolling dice, you have the opportunity to get money when they have their rolls, as well as they have the opportunity to get money when you roll as well.
Yeah, and in Mechakoro, we have had quite a bit of experience showing this to like family members. They've loved it. I mean, the theme and the artwork is really accessible. Again, if you have that, it makes the game so much easier to be introduced. But of course, and the mechanics aren't hard. I mean, you're just rolling dice and you're picking something. The only thing that I would think that would like maybe stump some people is that there's quite a few cards that you have to select from. And you have to read them to make sure that you see like what each card does. But I think the player interaction between you're hoping that everyone else rolls your numbers when they roll their dice, or you hope that they don't start rolling 2 dice when you need small numbers. Stuff like that with the player interaction, it just makes it to be a fun game to play with people. We play this a lot with my family. My sisters really like it. Yeah. So it's just kind of a fun introductory game. It's cute. You're building up a little town and rolling dice to make money. And it's not particularly my favorite game. Like whenever I'm introducing somebody a board game, I think it is important to be passionate and to really love the game because people feed off that passion. But that's not necessarily always the case. Like I don't particularly love Mechakoro, but every single time I've shown it to people who are non-board gamers, they love it. They love it. And so like sometimes I can just swallow that pride of mine. And I don't love the game. I do like Mechakoro, so it's not me saying I hate it. We've even bought the legacy version of Mechakoro and played it ourselves. Yeah, it's definitely like before we really got into the hobby, like we liked it a lot. So I mean, I respect the game, and I think it is good to show people, even though it may not be my favorite game. Our number 1 game is Carcassonne, published by Hamzengluck and designed by Klaus-Jürgen Rieder. And this game is a tile placement game where you are thematically building out the city of Carcassonne, located in France. And so everybody are picking up tiles from the same place and putting them down, building off this single starting tile to ultimately build this town up. And so whenever you put down the tile, you place down your worker and you claim either a road, a city, or a monastery. A monastery. And these will give you points once you complete it by either ending the road or completely surrounding the city or completely surrounding the monastery. And so at the end of the game, of course, whoever has the most points wins. And so this game is really easily accessible because the game only has like a couple decisions you make on your turn. Like you pick up your tile, and from this one tile, you have to decide if you can connect it. And so pretty much we kind of like describing this, which is not as throwing shade at the game because I love the game, as a kind of like a puzzle with points. Because you're just building out the city in a puzzle format, and like a field has to go with a field. A road has to go with a road. A city has to go with a city. And so that's all the person has to ultimately go through in trying to make the decisions in this game. And so like I love this game so much. And so like a game that's similar to this is Cascadia, which I personally do not like as much as this game. I like Cascadia. It's not my favorite. May Kate likes it way more than me.
Yeah.
But I think Cascadia loses something that Carcassonne has. Which Carcassonne has is more player interactions. Cascadia, you're just only building up your own little Cascadia, which Cascadia is located in the west of America, and you're building out this kind of national park yourself. Where Carcassonne, you're actually interacting with people, placing it off of the same tiles located in the middle.
And you can try to steal other people's points, which he likes to do all the time.
I love doing it. Love setting, because like you don't do it immediately, right? Like whenever you put down a tile and you claim the city, no one can build directly off that city. Instead, you have to put a tile off to the side with a hope of a tile connecting your city and their city together.
But
and so
somehow you always manage to do
so much, because they see it coming and they can't do anything to stop you ultimately, unless they just luckily pull the tile that will cut off end their city and then end your city in two separate cities. But so you have this interaction, even though I don't think people would typically think of Carcassonne as an interactive game, but you do have these interactions, and these interactions ultimately like would lead to moments. And what people just look across at the table and like, what are you doing? Yeah. Like, why are you doing this to me? Yeah. I hate you.
Like the last time we played Carcassonne, Devin and our friend Jesse, he had built out this massive city.
This is the biggest city I've ever seen. It was huge.
But
we scored like 40 points off the city.
Devin like snuck in there on the side and connected it, and then made it even more huge. So then everyone was trying to get in on this city, because we're like, if we're not in on this city, we have no chance of winning. So it turned into this huge race to see who could get the most meeples in the city.
And no one can outnumber me and Jesse, but I was able to cut Jesse out of the city. He did get back in later, but I was able to cut him off. And in that moment, it was just like Jesse never played this game before. I should not have done that.
Like, what?
Yeah, should not have done that. I should have been so much kinder to him. But I mean, it led to a moment that I don't think we'll forget about. And immediately after us playing this game, Carcassonne, they were like, let's take a picture of this. We want it. We want to buy it. We want to play it. We want to show people. It's so much fun. I mean, it's a classic for a reason. And so like Cascadia, I like Cascadia, but it doesn't have moments like that. Yeah. You know, Cascadia, again, you have more crunchy thinking because you have more things to worry about, right? You have animal in the tile placement that you have to worry about. And Carcassonne doesn't have that, but what it has is interaction. And it has just so much fun. So much fun. I can't emphasize how I love Carcassonne. So Carcassonne is our go-to game in showing people a board game now. Like, we will always pull out Carcassonne to show that to people. And I wouldn't change that at all. So I think that's our 5 games that we would show people.
Yep, our 5 introductory games. So thank you for watching our video and coming to our channel.
And we just wanted to let you guys know that you are valued, and we would love to play board games with all of you guys if we had the chance. So have a good day. Love you guys. Bye.
Bye.